when this fellow at University of Texas, Dennis McFadden, came out with a paper where it really made me think that prenatal testosterone might have an effect after all, despite my expectations. And this was looking at otoacoustic emissions. Do you want to talk about those?
These are people's ears making noise.
Yeah, I mean, right now in this studio, if I shut up for a moment, your ears will continue to make little popping sounds that you're not aware of because having grown up with it, the brain stopped you from perceiving those long ago. Well, but if Dennis puts you in a soundproof room and puts a very sensitive microphone in your ear, he'll hear these pops. And I won't get into the acoustics of why that's a good thing, right? It helps you to focus on the sounds you want to hear. But what Dennis knew is there's a sex difference in how many of these otoacoustic emissions are being made.
Spontaneous otoacoustic emissions, SOAEs, are more prevalent and stronger in females than males, a difference observable from birth.
Girls make more, and it's present at birth. So Dennis comes out with a strange study. I mean, who would do such a thing? Where he proposes, well, since the sex difference is present at birth, it might reflect prenatal testosterone. And so he measured the otoacoustic emissions in straight men and gay men and straight women and lesbians. And he reports that compared to straight women.
While some studies, like McFadden's, reported lower OAEs in lesbians, the link to prenatal testosterone and sexual orientation remains a hypothesis.
Straight women, the lesbians have fewer of these otoacoustic emissions than straight women. It's like, well, what? How would that happen? I couldn't think of any way to explain that except that, well, the lesbians might have been exposed to more prenatal testosterone than straight women before birth. And I don't know how to explain that except to say, well, maybe prenatal testosterone, maybe if you're exposed to that before birth, you're more likely to be attracted to women when you grow up. Which, well, that might explain why 95% of men are attracted to women, right? Because they're all exposed to prenatal testosterone. So this oddball study really gets me to thinking that maybe there's, something to that. But I'll forget it. I'm still working with my rats and Parameciscus and Siberian hamsters and stuff. I'm happily doing that. And then, I remember it so well, and I in 1999, I'm in my office at Berkeley, and I read this paper that says there's a sex difference in the ratio of fingers that's present in 9-year-old children. What? I've studied sex differences my whole adult life. How do I not know about this? And it turns out that if you measure the length of the second digit,
the pointer finger.
The pointer finger.
For those just listening, yeah.
Right. And the length of the ring finger, and you can do a simple ratio. Divide the length of the second digit by the fourth digit, so-called 2D/4D ratio. And a guy named John Manning was reporting that there's a sex difference there, that it's...
On average, men exhibit a lower 2D/4D ratio, pointer finger shorter than ring finger, than women, a difference observed globally.
That ratio tends to be smaller in men than in women, and that it's present in children. It's like, well, wait a minute. A sex difference in the body that's present before puberty, I know enough about sexual differentiation of the body.
The 2D/4D ratio is widely considered a proxy for prenatal androgen exposure, with lower ratios correlating with higher fetal testosterone levels.
Body, it's almost certainly due to prenatal testosterone.
Forgive me for interrupting you, but people are probably looking at their hands right now.
Oh, yes.
And I just want to point out that these are averages.
Yes.
But I think the 2D/4D thing, for people that aren't familiar, even though you explained it quite clearly, can be a little confusing. Basically, in men, the finger lengths are more different than they are in women, and there are some differences in that statement according to sexual orientation that we'll get into.
Right.
But when you say in other words, the typical heterosexual male pattern is that the pointer finger, right, is shorter than the ring finger.
Right.
Whereas in women, they tend to be more similar. Again, these are averages. And not to give it away, but this is because people are looking at their fingers right now.
Yes. Let me just say, don't panic.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna walk you through this. You're gonna be fine.
And the difference between men and women is more pronounced on the right hand, as I recall.